Retail therapy. We're back. Sorry about last week. My name's Will DeFries. Barrett Dudley, how we doing today?
Everybody deserves a break here and there, you know?
We took a break for the right reasons.
Yeah, and I mean hours wise, like if you're going off of like if you take it, you know, if you take it as Bible that like these episodes should be around an hour long, you know, then 3 episodes should be 3 hours. We gave you 3 hours over the course of 2 episodes.
Yeah, Barrett
right?
and I were
like lengthwise, we're on course.
Our plan was to record last week, and then before recording, we were like, we've talked about everything we can possibly talk about in the last 2 weeks. Like, the tank is empty. This episode will probably not be a mail-in episode, but like it might be like it might not be the episode we would want to put out at that time, and I'm glad that we delayed.
Yeah.
I'm very glad.
Yeah. And I mean, even today might still be kind of a mishmash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're here. It's ACL weekend 1 and around these parts, and this is the hottest. This is the hottest ACL I can remember in recent memory.
Yeah, it's got back sweat written all over it.
Oh, big time back sweat, all the sweat. We're looking at mid-90s all weekend.
Yeah,
and that's rough. That's rough. Just recently I posted some fall fits that I'd been saving.
Aspirational stuff, given the weather.
Some inspirational, aspirational, both of those things. And it's just there's no end in sight for us at the moment, and this is always a really tough place to be in Central Texas because it's like we covered fall, we covered the fashion, we did our ins and outs, and now it's just like we're twiddling our thumbs, waiting for our moment to put that shit on. Also, apologies for my voice. I'm sure you can hear that I'm slightly under the weather. Been battling a cold all week, but that's okay. You know, I'm here. I'm ready.
I mean, I made the mistake. People are still talking about Will's great closet reorganization from a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just still trending on X. And I made the grave mistake of taking my light sweaters and stacking them next to my t-shirts and switching the stacks around so that I could, get in sweater mode. And they're just taunting me every time I open my closet door. They're just looking at me like, you can't wear me right now. You better turn the AC down and sit on the couch, friend. It's just a huge bummer. And I've been getting a couple sweaters in, you know, I've been trying to up my fall wardrobe so I will be fully kitted out in time. It's just not going well for me.
Yeah. 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 At what point do you at what point does this shift hit? Like winter collections basically just going to be like slightly different spring summer collections, like with like the shirts have long sleeves in the pants and it's pants instead of shorts, but it's just all linens. It's all year round. There's like no need for puffers anymore. Like, you know, I don't know. I feel like that, you know, that's probably still like 50 years away, but
yeah, it's going to happen eventually.
How are the boys back home in old Michigan?
It was a beautiful September. Is the report? Or sorry, September. Did I say December?
Leaves changing? People peeping those leaves?
I think they'll start relatively soon.
Yeah?
I think they'll start relatively soon. Yeah. But I think on October 1st, the Michigan temperatures did dive. I'm trying not to look at temperatures in northern states right now because it would just depress me. It's just a bummer. It's just tough out here.
It is tough.
Do you have your ACL fits picked out?
No. I don't really like game it out anymore, you know? Like I'm not there's nobody to take my picture. There's nobody.
You're not doing 2016 Coachella vibes.
That's correct.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
You're not pretending you're on a Revolve trip.
I'm not pretending I'm on a Revolve trip. No. Although I think I talked about this, but I think officially Stagecoach has replaced Coachella for me as like the #1 festival that I would still like to go to.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you listen to a lot of country?
No, but like I'm absolutely nowhere close to being above like a Morgan Wallen Post Malone song. You know what I mean?
It would be. I think Stagecoach does look very, very fun. Like Coachella has such the influencer vibe now, and it seems like it's such a thing that Stagecoach almost just looks like the same thing, but people are actually having fun instead of like just showing you how much fun they are allegedly having.
Stagecoach is still heavily influencer. It's just all the B influencers. It's all the B minus and below.
The grimy ones.
Right. It's like all like if you've been on Love Island or The Bachelor, you go to Stagecoach.
Yeah, that's my wheelhouse.
Coachella is like you what do you think you're gonna rub elbows with Hailey Bieber and Bella Hadid?
Yeah, right.
No. You're not. If you're not a celebrity getting the celebrity treatment at Coachella, I don't want to go to things where I feel like I am getting the D- experience and everybody else is getting an A+.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if Paul Mescal was walking around with Daisy Edgar Jones, thank you for the gong, Randy, at Coachella, they would have to forcibly remove me. From
they're going to be doing that, and you are not going to be able to
they'll be taking me out in handcuffs because I'm just gonna be stalking them the entire time and like trying to like get his attention while he's bobbing his head to like, Mitski or something.
But like Joey from The Bachelor,
oh yeah,
like he's probably gonna you can say what's up to him.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know?
yeah, Hannah B, Hannah C, Hannah D,
All
Hannah,
the Hannahs,
Hannah
all
G.
the Hannahs.
Like yeah, they'll say what up.
Okay, I'm looking at. I don't know if this is this year's lineup or last year's lineup. I think this is. It's unclear, but this was the most recent Stagecoach lineup, or the whatever is on their website right now. Got Zach Bryan, Lana Del Rey, Whiskey Myers, Jelly Roll, Sturgill, Nelly. My guy Nelly is out there.
He's doing a lot of shows.
Shabuzi, Tipsy, the alcohol song. Anybody ever heard of it?
I've heard it once.
Luke Combs. Midland, Ty Haney's going.
I know. I feel bad that I'm like sick of Midland just because they get covered so much.
The effing Goo Goo Dolls, T-Pain, Creed, Backstreet Boys, Diplo's Honky Tonk. Like
it's
telling me that's not a vibe?
I'm sorry. This is on me. I didn't realize that they had transitioned into more like other music that's not just like the current country music landscape.
I thought it was just all pop country.
It's pop. It's country heavy, but
it's
like
country heavy. But yeah,
if Lana Del Rey's on the first line, like that's clearly not. She might be country now.
Have you been to a Texas football game this year?
No.
Okay.
It's too hot.
I never know. Like you always say,
I put it in all caps to you.
You always say that you don't go to any of these games, and then like I feel like every Saturday in a lot of seasons, I like pull up Instagram and you're at the game.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I will say no to everything like leading up to the week, and then if someone gives me like a Friday invite to a game and I have like a wild hair, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go to this game. No, but I texted Barrett the other day when he asked if I was going to the game, and I just texted him in all caps. Too hot with a bunch of exclamation points.
I generally reject the September games. But this was like first SEC game. It was late September. It was only going to get up to like 92. So I did go to this most recent one. The reason I bring this up is because cowboy boots are always popular at University of Texas Longhorn football games, especially on young women. But like it has reached an absolute fever pitch.
Really?
To where like if you are sub 25, if you are a under 25-year-old girl and you are not wearing your cowboy boots to the game, no matter the weather, like just get out, go home. What are you doing?
See, I got roasted last year.
Nothing but boots.
I got absolutely killed last year by this girl who was wearing a mini skirt and cowboy boots. She was talking to a couple guys I was with while we were waiting in line for a beer. And I was wearing my Birkenstocks, which I knew was a move at the UT football game.
That is a move, yeah.
But I don't know. I woke up and wanted to wear stocks out. It was a hot day. I didn't want to have the feet covered. And this girl looked at me and she goes, "I'm not even going to start on your footwear." And then she looked me in the eyes and just said, "You don't even take care of your feet."
Wow.
And I was just like, and I looked at her and I said, "What's your problem?"
Dang.
It was mean. It was very mean-spirited. And because I'm a nice guy, I could have commented on her top, which I was not a fan of, but I'm not going to comment on that.
You didn't want to stoop.
I wanted to ask her, like, hey, are you doing, like, I'm really happy that you brought your top from 2015 to this UT game.
Well, yeah, but it's like you've always said this, like when they go low, we go high.
We go high, yeah.
And
so it did give me somewhat of an identity crisis regarding the look of my feet. Like every time I now wear sandals, I think of that interaction, and I'm like, she's right. I don't take care of my feet. I don't think I have nasty, nasty feet, but at the same time, like, if she's noticing it, waiting in line for a beer, who else is noticing it?
Yeah.
It's hard out here. Let's get some announcements out of the way. Retailpod.substack.com. We are all caught up. On the Substack. Every link you ever need is right there. We're in a good spot. The list is growing. We just got our monthly report of how we did in September, and I have to say, we stacked some numbers in September. I'm really happy with ourselves. That's good.
I love stacking numbies. I'm right. I never even posted this on the Grom. I don't know why, but I wrote a column about all the shoes that I have in my bag a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. That's on Substack. Mm-hmm. I'm in the middle of writing another column that should be published very, very soon, maybe already by the time you're listening to this. So we've got we've got the rundowns, we've got the links, but I'm also trying to like pump out some other,
Yes.
some other newsletter-esque content.
I have good news for you.
What's that?
And for people that are fans of the written content, I'm officially coming to work an hour earlier every day than I was before due to a schedule change in my personal life.
Okay.
Which means that I'm going to be dedicating a lot of mornings to trying to just pump out something. Even if it's just a short little write-up on something, I still want to do it. And so I'm looking forward to diving more into this.
I need to be better about just being okay with pumping out a little like short nothing.
Yeah.
It's one of my worst qualities about content creation in general is that people get famous every single day just by doing like quick little talking heads with no editing whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. And for some reason, I think it's our generation. We want everything to be like this very like polished production. You know what I mean?
I've always operated under, and especially when, I was writing every day, I always just operated under put it out. Like, don't waste your time. Don't overthink it. Just if you feel like it's at a spot where people will enjoy it, just put it out and move on. Move to the next one. That's the churn of the content game. Also, if you would like to watch our episodes, I think our last 2 episodes were some of our most viewed on YouTube. YouTube.com/SundayScaries podcast, at retail.pod on Instagram. But let's hear from our friends over at Magic Mind. On our last episode, I drank a Magic Mind live on air. You might be wondering to yourself, what's up with this mental performance shot? It's an addition to your daily routine that gets you focused, mentally clear, motivated, and productive while reducing stress with mushroom nootropics and adaptogens. Plus, it's over 100% of your daily value of vitamin C and vitamin D per bottle. Maybe you need that, sniffle boy.
Maybe I do.
Here's the thing. It's 100% safe. All ingredients are third-party tested and sourced from the best suppliers. When it comes to your health, there's just no quick fixes. Instead of relying on quick fixes from the gas station, they believe in mental performance that must be tackled on the long term to achieve a balance of productive and stress-free living. This is not a coffee replacement. No one wants a coffee replacement. I'm drinking my coffee right now. If you hear that clanking on the
I got
episode.
that bing bong.
Oh, of course. In addition to your morning routine, just like your daily essential vitamin, but this is for your mind. It's got L-theanine inside, which makes sure your coffee lasts all day. And it's got that time-release caffeine. Caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It blocks, I think I had trouble with this word before, adenosine, neuroreceptors in your brain. They're the neuroreceptors that tell you that you're tired. And when the receptors unblock, 1 to 3 hours later, you experience a sudden drop in energy called the caffeine crash. Their formula uses 12 active ingredients to help support your body's energy engine. And Magic Mind is not a fleeting charge up. It's an enhancement for a brilliant day and an even better tomorrow. It's doctor validated. There's over 200 scientific studies behind every ingredient, which you can find. If you want a link to it, hit me up. I'll give you the link. But right now, you have a limited time offer that you can use that gets you up to 48% off your first subscription or 20% off one-time purchases with code RETAILTHERAPY, all one word, at checkout. You can claim it at magicmind.com/retailtherapy. Again, magicmind.com/retailtherapy and use retail therapy at checkout. We got a whole grab bag today of segments. I don't even think we need to structure this like crazy. I think we just get out here and vibe. Can we start with...
Is this like a whole episode of Articles of Interest, basically?
Kind of, yeah.
Sort of.
That's kind of how it is panning out right now.
Yeah, that's okay.
Can we start with Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing, but I think I love it. He showed up at the Loewe show dressed unlike I've ever seen Daniel Craig. He's just going off. He's got voluminous trousers. He's got some just combat boots on, essentially. A patterned sweater, which is putting me on blast for my in-out list, where I said that I was out on patterned sweaters.
Well, I think you were putting them on your out list because they're so in. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like you're just out on them.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I kind of feel like I hate to say this so soon after the in-out episode.
I think I know what you're going to say.
I think I'm back in on them.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm seeing a lot online being like, you know what? I actually kind of like that.
What I was going to say about our in-out list is I think it was our least controversial in-out list ever. Which I'm are we losing our fastball a little bit?
Yeah, I think I'm playing scared.
Maybe this should have been this was actually a better segue to the GQ guy that won't stop writing the clickbait columns.
I'm angry.
But we didn't go clickbaity enough. We didn't we didn't engagement hack enough because we didn't inflame the people with any of our excruciatingly hot takes.
If you think about me making my in-out list, just know that when I'm typing into my notes app and doing this, the controversy of me going at dirty martinis and oysters, just the fallout from that alone, it's owning so much real estate in my brain that I feel like I'm just holstering things that I actually want to say.
Well, don't holster.
I'm back in on
no more holstering.
I said it before this episode. I'm back in on oysters. I would really like to have some sooner than later.
Yeah, Daniel Craig for Loewe is it's a big time vibe, but let's not forget to shout out Rachel Weisz, who honestly is killing it even more than Daniel Craig for me in this pairing right here.
What's the name of this cut of jeans?
This is called a barrel cut.
Okay.
This is very popular with women right now. I'm sure Sally has like 3 pairs. Or or they're like on their way from Shop
I think
Bop
we got
right
a
now.
pallet from Shop Bop to our house the other day that was just filled with these. And I was like looking at the jeans and I was like, I've never seen this cut before.
Yeah,
And I told her, I was like, my hesitation right now is not because you don't look good in them. It's because this is a new cut that I'm not familiar with. And I'm trying to figure out where it falls in my brain.
It was like the hot cut. It was like the hot new cut last fall, which means this fall it's like it's big time.
Yeah.
It's this is the cut of jeans that you want if you're.
Are they meant to be worn with daintier shoes? Because I think
they can be worn with anything, but they definitely they do not pool. They kind of are supposed to have that crop where they like end at your ankle. So I think for women like you can pair anything with them, but dainty shoes are certainly a nice choice.
Okay.
I like Daniel Craig's fit. It's like a little too. I love everything that's happening with Daniel Craig and Loewe. This particular outfit feels almost like 280s to me.
Yeah.
Right?
I get it.
With like the hem on the pants all cinched in. But overall, I fuck with the vibe.
When you get invited to a fashion show,
yeah,
do they send you a box of clothes beforehand so they make sure that you're showing up wearing their stuff? I have always tried to avoid fashion weeks and taking in fashion week content.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think I need to go there. I don't think my time is best spent like analyzing runway stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've always wondered, like, you see A$AP Rocky showing up to a Bottega show and he's just decked out. Like,
yes.
do they have a stylist that you go see, or do they send you a box of stuff and just let you have at it?
Yeah. So I'm completely kind of talking out of my ass here because I don't actually know 100%.
What, you sit front row all the time at these shows?
Daniel Craig is now like a Loewe ambassador.
Yeah.
So part of the gig is him showing up and being front row at the fashion shows and being decked out in the latest collection.
Okay.
Then many times, there were many photos from this Loewe fashion show, and a bunch of other celebrities were there, and they were all wearing hot, new, fresh Loewe as well.
Yeah,
that's definitely. They have been invited to that show by Loewe, and either they or their stylist has been sent a bunch of stuff to like pick from, or like here are the 4 things that they can wear, make it work. But yes, when you see like when A$AP is at the Bottega show and he's decked out in Bottega, that has been arranged.
Premeditated.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, it's fun seeing old dudes dress edgy.
Yeah.
Like, I truly do kind of like it when it comes to, like, Daniel Craig. I mean, we've talked before about, like, the Kith campaigns that include older guys that kind of almost make the clothes look worse because it doesn't look natural on the guys.
Yeah.
And, like, I think there's a case to be made about Daniel Craig in that, too. But at the same time, like, when you're at Fashion Week, I don't think you face the same criticism as when you're doing like a campaign.
Well, and it's extra cool for a guy like Daniel Craig, and Derek Guy on Twitter has talked about this, right? But like, he kind of became like his first like real like fashion moments were as Bond with the super ultra tailored, amazingly cut Tom Ford suits. And then he kind of carried that over into his like own personal style on red carpets for the next decade, where he was usually and often in like kind of overly tailored suits.
Conor McGregor style?
Yeah. Not quite that bad, but he definitely wore some stuff that was like that was bordering on too small, too snug. And so to see him kind of like cut bait with that and kind of enter this newfound
I also think once he stopped being Bond
phase, like that's pretty fun for him.
When he stopped being Bond, I think he had like the identity crisis of like, I need to get away from this. You know, I mean, his characters that he's played in movies since are nothing like Bond. I mean, Knives Out obviously has a different accent, but like, I think he wants to separate himself from that. And if you still show up to every red carpet event trying to wear something Bond would wear, people are just going to still assume like, oh yeah, he's a James Bond guy.
Right.
And I don't think he wants to go down as just James Bond guy.
I think that's right.
He got a lot of criticism for that jacket that you just had on the screen.
Yes.
Why did he get a bunch of criticism for that? Is it the fit of it? It bunched on the sleeves and
yes,
stuff?
I think it's mostly the sleeves, which is what stands out to me as essential. I mean, it almost looks like a compression shirt.
What an idiot having such big biceps.
That's
no one will ever criticize me for having too tight of sleeves on a jacket.
It's the problem, That's why you got to be careful with how big your arms get.
Where do you stand on bag charms?
I like it. I like these types of trends where people are just, finding a way to zhuzh things up a little bit.
So after we did our in-out lists, Sally asked, I ask Sally, hey, is there anything that I'm missing? I don't show her my list, but like, is there anything that I wouldn't see that's like super in or super out right now? And after the episode had already been recorded, she was like, did you guys talk about bag charms? I was like, no. And then I started looking into it. And the more I started looking into it, the more I started seeing them. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a whole thing. I get it. I understand. I actually think, Barrett, that I have bag charmed in my life.
Oh yeah?
I'm not afraid of putting a pin on a tote bag. I'm not afraid of maybe tying a little bandana around something every once in a while.
Okay.
And now that this is the new trend, I might use this as an enabling point for myself and just start charming up everything.
I mean, that's very brave of you, but I applaud it.
I don't know if I'm going to put like, some of the charms that you have up here. Like, I don't know if I need, I'm going to go buy a bunch of dupes from China.
Okay.
Like
right.
Loewe dupes and put them on there. So people are like, wow, he's really flossing right now. I don't know if I can afford like $165 keychains from,
I like this one right here. This is a tote for your tote. It's a nano tote from Marc Jacobs.
People definitely put their cocaine in that.
And just sometimes your tote needs a tote.
That's true.
This might be something that we need to think about for a future project,
Yeah.
Not to tease anything too much, but
not to tease anything too much.
But yeah, I don't know. Something to think about.
I mean, I kind of want to zhuzh things up a little bit more. I think we talked about it in the previous episode, like how I'm just embroidering a random vest that I have with like Grateful Dead stuff. So I think I might just carry this over into my life. Oh yeah, look at you with your.
Well, yeah. So this they've got the Bodhi Nike Astro Grabbers up here, and I mean the charms on the laces are what sold me on this shoe. I was like, I said to myself, that's super cute, and I have to have it. But quick aside. I've loved these. I need to wear them more. We do anticipate cooler weather coming around eventually. And I pulled up the black pair on StockX because I was like, I kind of freak with the black pair too. Like maybe I need those for the colder months. Man, they're $550.
What?
On StockX?
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, nobody wants the white ones apparently.
I like the white ones far more than the black.
I mean,
ones.
I like the white ones more too. Still, if I'm only having one pair, like this is the obvious choice for me because the black ones are kind of funky looking. They're like a little weird. They have black midsole, black
they're bowling
sole, black,
shoes.
Yeah. But the black, I guess maybe it's just quantities. Like maybe these are just way, way, way more limited. But yeah, so I will not be getting the black ones.
Oh, I think the ones you have are far and away better than the black. I mean, are you doing penny loafer charms?
So kind of actually. So these are Bass. But what these are clearly like riding the coattails on is a brand that's been doing these kind of like studded and gothic loafers and boots called Toga. And I got a pair of Togas on sale late last fall. They're not the penny loafer versions. But they're a slightly more Western. They're like a Western mule. Honestly.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
They're kind of crazy.
I dig it.
This is like I said. I did not get a loafer pair, but I like what Toga is doing, and so I like this spin on black leather shoes, shoe boots. If you're fancy. Loafers, whatever it might be. Yeah, I'm down with this.
I made the mistake of mansplaining penny loafers to my wife when she got a pair in recently, and I said, "Well, obviously you can't actually put a penny in it." And she looked at me and she goes, "No, all the girls are putting pennies in them."
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. I am very sorry. I did not realize that was more acceptable."
That was a man. I want to say the last time that I had a pair of penny loafers, like true penny loafers, I'm almost positive they were from Bass. Was in the hashtag menswear era.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you penny them up?
2012-ish. And I think I pennied them up.
I think my anti-pennying came far after 2012. I also think it was just completely based on one single article that I read.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate having some loafers in the mix. It's not something I've shopped for. It's not something I've done research on. And it's mainly because I feel like I'm just going to go down a road where suddenly I fall in love with a $900 pair of loafers. And I'm like, what am I doing here? I can't afford these. This isn't working.
This pair from Bass I hadn't seen yet, but I did see several other pairs from Bass where they are entering that black stock and Weber and like Toga, and like they understand that loafers are hot right now, and they're seeing these trends, and they are kind of adopting them and putting their own spin on it, or kind of creating some very similar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So some of that stuff comes at a slightly higher price point than maybe you're used to from Bass. Like I think, what are these, 185? Yeah. So this is a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing is like 200, where I think a classic pair of Weegens from Bass used to be like 99 or 125 or whatever. But yeah, it's a good spot to try out a loafer trend for not $900 is Bass for sure.
Yeah, I think the only pair of loafers I currently have are from Bass, and they were just like my dad gave them to me because they didn't fit him anymore. And I wear them all the time. I mean, I used to wear them all the time. I've kind of replaced them.
But yeah, they're doing like the white contrast spectator look. They've got like the lug sole.
Yeah, I'm happy with what we're seeing here.
Yeah. So some interesting options there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of this, especially on as a style choice for the ladies out there. I really do enjoy the female loafer look.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, entering fall, there's no better time to cop some.
But no, charm and charm that shit up, man. Put that shit on your bag.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be anti wearing like a watch and I don't even have my wedding ring on right now, or necklaces and things like that. I think I might just start charming up. I think I might just give my apparel some jewelry.
Where do you stand on charming your jeans belt loop or your pants belt loop with a little carabiner with some keys on it?
I just don't think that's a vibe that I'm going to try to hop on.
No.
I mean, is this like janitor core?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Dudes with the carabiners with their keys on their belt loops.
Okay, I hate carrying keys in my pocket as much as anybody.
Yeah.
I would much rather just carry a giant tote bag and throw my keys in it for no reason than have them like jangling on me.
You don't want, okay.
I'm not a jangle boy.
I've never been a clip-on carabiner key guy.
No.
Never made sense to me.
No.
But I know,
I would end up knocking the carabiner off and losing my keys because I was trying to get a look off. Can we talk about GQ briefly?
Yeah. So I kind of, I've aforementioned GQ. Yes.
Okay. A couple episodes ago, we talked about and by there, I mean Noah Johnson, who is writing a lot for GQ these days. And he said that you can't wear chore coats. And now we're being told that Gorpcore has completely died. And it says Gore-Tex shells and Sherpa fleece zip-ups are enduring menswear staples, but the concept of crunchy outdoorsy clothing as an all-encompassing trend is well and fully dead. And I don't necessarily disagree with everything that he says, but we can't just be taking away chore coats, Gore-Tex jackets. Like, these are necessary things in life that we need to be wearing.
Yeah.
Like, we need to have you have to have a rain jacket. Every single comment was like, hey, Noah, come to the Pacific Northwest. Like, hey, it's raining outside right now, and I have to literally go grab my rain jacket.
Yeah. So shouts to Noah, because he's now 4 for 4 in the last month in inflaming and outraging.
He's just pissed me off 4 times in the last month.
Yeah. So this is the RIP Gorpcore. This is the chore coats are done. This is the Vans are back. And this is the jeans are back.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Yes.
Jeans are...
Yeah, there's never a better time than now to wear jeans. Like, really?
Jeans for fall. Groundbreaking.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Miranda Priestley gif. But yeah, so they're banging this can a little too hard, because now it's just too obvious that this guy's job is to write clickbait, outrage, like call something dead, say you know better, declare yourself the expert and go off, king. And I like, it can't possibly be self-serious. Like, there's no way, right?
No.
There's no way that he doesn't know what he's doing at this point.
Okay, so at our old company, I had a discussion one day with somebody who looked at a lot of analytics, and they talked about good traffic versus bad traffic.
Yeah.
And it was like, this particularly is good traffic. People spent 16 minutes on the site after reading this column and whatever. And then like you'd look at the clickbaity stuff and it was like, this is bad traffic. People are spending 30 seconds on this just to see what the gist is and they're leaving. And like, I feel like this stuff is probably performing pretty well, but I also don't think it's doing many favors for GQ as a company to have this outrage toward like people declaring things we can't talk about, declaring things in and out, but just saying that, I just feel like it's very clickbaity for GQ and GQ should be above that.
So, I think there's an interesting conversation to be had here about GQ kind of like at large, right? Because they I would say for the last 15 years or maybe longer, for as long as I've been paying attention to menswear and men's clothing and been in the industry and like had this as a passion as well as a job, like GQ, people always have a love-hate relationship with GQ. And it's almost like if you consider yourself a very fashionable person on the cutting edge, then you're above GQ.
Yeah.
You don't even deign to like read it or listen to what they say because you're above it.
I almost think it's like
past it.
I think there's like there's an angle here where it's like for the guy who doesn't have time to pay attention to the greater landscape. And it's like, but I still want to be somewhat cognizant of what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
I'll go check out GQ.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a compromise.
And at the same time, there's still a stalwart. There's no bigger publication that's like, a men's fashion entity. The people that work there are still, the jobs are still highly sought after. The people that work there, Yangi Go, Samuel Hine, Will Welch, like these guys are seem like cool guys that always dress well at parties and look good on red carpets or whenever they're out in New York. Like, Gian had a stint at GQ. Like, it's still
GQ came knocking on my door. I'm answering that door every single time.
Exactly. Chris Black from Done to Death, I think, is writing some stuff for GQ now as well. So it's like they still have cachet, and I actually feel like with all those guys that I just mentioned, they were kind of maybe clinging on to some higher relevancy with the listeners of this podcast or the Throwing Fits people or like any of that type of stuff. And then this kind of torpedoes it. This type of outrage clickbait kind of torpedoes all the goodwill that they'd made because this stuff is patently absurd. Like it's not like chore coats are not out. That's false. And then and then something like this just ignores the fact that Gorpcore as a whole is like a macro trend. It's not a micro trend. Like, yes, like nobody is on TikTok wearing their shell and their Arc'teryx shell in the shower anymore. But like you wouldn't have wide pants without Gorpcore kind of kicking Rockstar skinny jeans out of the picture 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, so there's no like, that doesn't Gorpcore will be in a part of the conversation until we move on to like a new paradigm shift, until, as we like to say, until the vibes really start to shift in a different direction again, and they haven't yet. So it is still here. So this is not intelligent writing about fashion for me. This is just like what can I say that will garner like you said, those bad clicks.
If that's one person's opinion, which it clearly is, then that's fine. But I feel like the way that GQ even markets it by making it like you can't find that many like link in. I mean, you can probably find a ton, but like the most prominent link in bio posts are these headlines in the last month on GQ. And I know that they're doing clicks. They have to be.
I feel like the merch is dead column probably went ultra viral for them, and they were like, we have to keep doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that one had the clickbaity headline, but then I thought was actually pretty well written and had some good thoughts in it.
Yeah. Chore coats, no.
But Noah Johnson's are a little more. He just seems like a gun for hire that they hired to come in and be the bad guy to do this. You know what I mean?
I feel bad just raining on him, but like he's pissing me off on the TL, and I don't like getting. I'm not going to sit here and tell a retail therapy listener like, oh no, GQ said chore coats are out. So like that chore coat that you just bought from the website that has 15 different chore coats because they're so in right now, you got to get rid of that. Like being one step ahead is not always the best thing. Like sometimes it does feel good to wear something that's like relevant and cool and fun. And I'm not ready to write off things that quickly unless it's on my in-out list.
Yes. Listen to ours, not
yeah. Listen to us, not Noah. We don't. Yeah, we are we're smart.
Should we talk about what's happening with Sydney Sweeney, Will?
Yes.
This was a late ad for me, but did we cover, or did we just completely ignore the fact that Hey Dude signed Sydney Sweeney?
I think we ignored it. I think I talked about it maybe on Circling Back, but I don't think we actually discussed it on here, unless I'm mistaken.
All right. Well, if you don't live somewhere in the Southeast or Texas, and you don't know what Hey Dudes are, they're essentially the modern day Sanuk.
Okay.
Right? Like they are a slip-on shoe that doesn't really lace, that is usually made of like canvas or something like that. And they've got like an apron fringe toe and some very, loud branding. And they are by and large, like they are meant for dudes that do not care about fashion.
Yeah, they're ugly.
They're
not the dudes, the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes are pretty ugly and like, they just, them when you see them. They're not fashion. And I don't think that I am, salting the name of Hey Dudes to say that.
No, I don't think most people are sitting here punching air because you're down talking Hey Dudes.
But they went and Randy, chime in.
I can't speak from experience, but I've been told they're comfortable. That's the only reason I think a lot of people wear them. That's the only thing I'll say.
If I see a dad on a coffee run with his kid and he's rocking some Hey Dudes and he looks at me looking at his Hey Dudes and he goes, "Hey man, they're fucking comfortable." I'm gonna be like, you know what? Respect. Respect. As long as you're aware that they might not be the number one choice for the group dinner.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll listen to you.
Look, and look, I will say this: if you had asked me 10 years ago if Crocs could ever become could ever become a fashion shoe, I would have said absolutely not.
And someone's in their boardroom right now saying the exact same thing.
Yes.
Crocs did it.
Crocs did it. Yes. So I get it. Never say never, but she's out there wearing these Hey Dudes now with her Miu Miu outfits, and it's not working. And then they got Chase Stokes from Outer Banks, and he's decked out in all this fashion stuff, but then pair it with Hey Dudes, and it's just nah. Okay. That was one though. That Sweeney, she's from I can't remember where, St. Louis or something, right? She's like a Midwest girl.
I'll fact check.
Salt of the earth. She's connecting with the people. With
Spokane, Washington. She was born.
Okay.
I don't know where she grew up. She could have grown up somewhere
I think her family's in Idaho or
Missouri
I think so. or something like that. So all right, Hey Dudes is a fit. But now
Idaho. Yep, Panhandle of Idaho.
But now this week, she has also become the spokesperson for Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch bath products.
I had never even heard of Dr. Squatch.
Have you not?
Really? They Brett should be hitting him up because they have some ad money to be throwing around. Right? I'll tell you that much. I'm seeing them all over the place.
I think they spent it all on her.
That is very clear, Randy, because they have signed Sydney Sweeney. And
I'll be honest, until right now, I thought that this was an Old Spice ad. Because the branding looks so Old Spicy.
It does. And I've used some Dr. Squatch product. I think maybe they were a podcast sponsor at one point. Not this one, maybe a different one. They've got good stuff. They're clearly trying to do an Old Spice Dollar Shave Club type of branding thing here. But this is almost less of a knock on the brands than it is on Sydney Sweeney, because it used to be back in the day. If you were a movie star, if you were an up and coming starlet, if you were young George Clooney or young Brad Pitt or young Julia Roberts or whoever, you are not touching this type of shit with a 10-foot pole.
No.
You go do your Diet Coke commercial in Japan where nobody else is going to see it, right? That's the old way. Now, things have changed a little bit. Everybody's got to get your bag. You want to make your little indie movie. So you take the Marvel picture or you do the Nespresso commercial with Danny DeVito or whatever. I get it. But this is oversaturation for somebody that needs to be really careful. And I gotta wonder what Sweeney's agents and managers are doing right now, because do they want her to be a real movie star or not?
Well, I think that America loves having a buxom blonde be in the spotlight, and there's always an it girl.
But why is she committing herself to that?
And she is that current person. She could be doing Fashion Week stuff, but instead of doing Fashion Week stuff during Fashion Week, she's releasing Dr. Squatch.
She's becoming the Squatch Genie or whatever she's called, the body wash genie.
Put her on a runway or something. I know she's not classically runway, she's not 6'1" and long legged, but just put her on do some high fashion stuff that also pays well.
At least
she has to be getting paid crazy amounts to be doing this, because her brand, like maybe she just says like, no, like I'm from Idaho. My brand is down, like like dudes who wear Hey Dudes.
Well, here? Okay, here's what I'll be interested to see. We talked about Daniel Craig with Loewe. She's been that for Miu Miu recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's been a Miu Miu ambassador. Like, are they going to keep fitting her out and stuff if she keeps taking like every single job, every single ad deal that offers her $1 million?
Yeah. I mean,
or does that like saturate her brand and like devalue it?
I don't know. It's the Kevin Hart rock play, Don't say no to anything.
Shaquille O'Neal.
That's the playbook that she seems to be using. Like, and what does this cost? Seriously, what did it cost to get Sweeney here?
I would like to know.
It had to have been $1 million.
I would like to know
more.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
She's got the Samsung deal. So everything she posts is from a Samsung. I did not know this, but Sabrina Carpenter also has a Samsung deal.
Okay.
And recently she posted a selfie online of her holding it was a mirror selfie, so you could see the phone, and she's holding an iPhone, and it became this controversial thing. And I was like, you know what? Sydney Sweeney's probably dealt with the same thing. Like, hey, get that iPhone off your Instagram story right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Samsungs are bad phones. I've never used one, and I've heard that they're actually pretty nice, but it's one of those things where it's like, I think it would take a lot of money to convince a celebrity of their notoriety to go with Samsung, because iPhone is just so the only option for so many people in the demographic.
Yeah. Just had to get a little vent off there on what's happening out there.
What does it say about me that I'm not afraid of running back the Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney flick numerous times? It's downloaded on my iPad for backup travel. Like if like an episode didn't download, whatever, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna roll with Glenn and Sydney right now.
I mean, two actors that you like in a brainless like rom-com.
It's so
that, like,
perfectly
that you don't
brainless.
have to think about, like,
the Australian setting with like everything is perfect. The house is beautiful. Like if anyone's in the kitchen in that movie, they're like making something beautiful or putting like beautiful flowers into a vase. It's just I understand why people might not like the movie, but it is the perfect brainless current movie right now. That's where I'm rolling with it.
I can't argue. Argue.
No. Barrett, something we've talked about a lot lately is fashion and stuff. And I've really had something top of mind for me lately, which is kitchen stuff.
Okay.
Our kitchen is an absolute mess right now. It's probably due to the 2 kids that we have. But I put a link to an espresso machine in here that went somewhat viral recently because it's a good-looking espresso machine. And I don't have an espresso machine. I'm separating those 2 words so that people aren't confusing it with Nespresso. Nor do I need one. And when this went viral, I thought, ooh, that is a really good-looking espresso machine. But ever since, I have kind of gotten further and further away from it because I've wondered to myself, like, is this too aesthetic to have in like a kitchen with a bunch of other stuff that isn't as nice as this? Is it like too tailored to something? Or am I just overthinking this random espresso machine that was everywhere?
Well, you know what this looks like, right? Like the reason this is ringing so many bells in your head.
It looks like me wearing a chore coat.
No, this is the companion to the ALD Remova collaboration. It's the dark green with the gold and the mahogany wood accent.
It's the Remova of the kitchen.
So if you have that, then you need this. I mean, straight up, this looks like a collab. Like this.
It does. It does.
I'm surprised this is not the Lamorosco ALD collab.
It looks like the High Towers.
Dude,
also the High Towers. Thank you, Randy. Yes.
Doing an espresso machine collab would be.
I think
that's a flex.
There's a Supreme Mocha Master. We did determine that last year. Remember?
No.
With the drip coffee maker that I have.
Yeah, they have a Supreme. Oh yeah, they did have a Supreme one.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying that?
My Mocha Master?
Yeah.
Or my Supreme Mocha Master?
No, not your Supreme Mocha Master. You're
keeping
that in the box for resale.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I look forward to making my pot of coffee every morning.
We've completely abandoned our coffee machine.
Really?
Yes, I've just been drinking cold brew from like a container.
Yeah.
Shout out to Busy. I want to get out ahead of it. Busy did send me some free cold brew when they heard that we were talking. I was talking coffee on something and they sent me some, or I think I posted something on Instagram. And they reached out and said, we'd love to send you some. And I liked it enough that now I'm just straight up buying it from the store. It's high octane stuff, but it's made me completely ditch our coffee machine. I'm not in the hot coffee mode.
Okay.
I don't know what's going to draw me back into my coffee machine. I don't think I could buy something like this where I'm actually like pushing.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, you don't have time for this.
No.
Not right now.
No. And I look at my kitchen and I'm like, you know what? All my pots and pans look like shit because we've been treating them like shit for years. Like, I need to make some upgrades, and it's just killing me. But then I see stuff like this and I'm like, I can't upgrade like something to this level and not have like a nicer kitchen. It's like almost too nice.
Right.
And I worry that if I start upgrading my kitchen, that like it's just going to be an absolute money pit of things I don't need and things I won't use. Like, I'm kicking myself for buying it's not like a nice coffee machine, but I'm kicking myself for buying this coffee machine that we don't use anymore because it's nice, but we don't even touch it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much baking you do, Will, but let me interest you in this. You know, you get the green and gold Morozko, you get the ALD Ramova, and then you get the new evergreen and gold KitchenAid stand mixer that dropped this year.
Okay, that's kind of sexy.
Yeah.
I think I'm more into. Stand mixer is something that I think I could get more use out of.
So last year, you know, I was preparing to get married, and one of the things that we put on our registry was the matte black KitchenAid stand mixer.
Okay,
that became my favorite. It's super sleek. I love it. It by the way, it does do exactly the thing you're talking about. It's way too nice for our kitchen. So it looks kind of dumb sitting on our counter because our kitchen is the worst part of our house. It's the reason we don't have anybody over ever. And it looks out of place. So I'm like, it's bittersweet because had this one been out last year, there's absolutely no question that this would have been the play.
This is nice.
This is so retail therapy coded. It's not even funny. But I'm honestly glad that I didn't even have to lust after this one, and that I only have the matte black one, because this one would look absolutely foolish on our counter.
As good as this looks on the website, when I imagine it sitting on my counter, it ain't gonna work. It just ain't gonna work.
But can you imagine just having this guy right next to this guy? Like,
I do think in terms of
now we're talking.
Yeah, we're cooking now. In terms of wood, like a dark walnut for me is my favorite thing to have in the kitchen.
Especially if you respect wood.
If you respect wood, then real wood heads know what I'm talking about right now. At my old job, working retail, we got a ton of cutting boards, bowls. I mean, a lot of bowls that looked like this. And for some reason, I became just very attached to like the dark walnut look. I just really like it. And that's something that I think I could build the consistency in my kitchen to have without spending a ton of money and without buying things that look out of place that are super nice. Like just having a consistent wood presence. I don't know how I got here. Having a consistent wood presence, I feel like would elevate my kitchen in a way that it's not currently right now.
Yeah.
I have some nice cutting boards, but like they all look kind of different. And when they're stacked up next to each other, it's like, yeah, these kind of look out of place. And
it's
weird.
like mixing metals, you know? It's okay. You can mix wood.
Sally came in the other day I'm talking about her a lot today. She came in the other day with some earrings on that were mixed metal. And I said to her, I was like, Sally, almost 10 years ago when we met for the first time, you said that you only wear gold. You said, don't buy you any silver because you never want silver. You only wear gold. And then she walked in with these earrings that were essentially just like big, chunky, not hoops, but chunky or small hoops that were just interconnected with one another. And I said, I was like, do you want me to tell you that you don't wear silver? And she was like, no, I don't. And I said, and I told her I would like this a lot more if it was just all gold.
Okay.
And she took that feedback very well. But I don't love the mixing metals like as much as other people do.
Okay.
I don't think it annoys me, but when in practice, I'm like, I kind of like the consistency of it. Maybe that's why I feel the need to be consistent regarding my wood.
Yeah.
Some of y'all not being consistent with your wood out there. I need to upgrade some major things. Like our maiden pans that we have been absolutely phenomenal, but like I almost feel like I need to replace them with more maiden that look just more consistently worn in across the board instead of just having it. But I like to have a consistency in those ways. And our non-maiden stuff, it looks terrible. And it's like, I don't want to use anything but the nicer thing that I have. And I end up doing that. And it's like, well, just get rid of the shittier pan. Yeah. Like you have the pans with the scrapes on the bottom from like it's just not good.
The kitchen stuff, in a lot of ways, I'll make a clothes analogy here. You know how sometimes you just like go in your closet and like you don't pick your nice new favorite stuff because you just like, I don't want to get dirty. I don't want anything bad to happen. I don't, you just like,
I'm saving this for like, I
Right,
don't want to
like-
wear this to work. I want to
Yeah.
save this for like
you
a
kind of like
dinner.
negotiate with yourself and you do like a little bit of mental math and you're like, I'm going to wear the thing that I like less because I'm not as concerned or worried about it. Like I do this in the kitchen all the time. I would rather cook and prepare our meals with my worst chef's knife that I can throw in the dishwasher versus my really nice Japanese chef's knife that I know I'm going to have to hand wash.
Yeah.
Like it's like
I get it. I get it.
Same thing with like the cookie pans. Like, do you want to pull out like the brilliant, nice one that's perfect and still polished and has no dings on it? Or are you just like, nah, I just use the old one. I don't care about that one.
I had an old roommate who was very particular about these things, but I didn't know he was particular about these things until it was too late. And he just had a dedicated egg pan, which I did not know was a thing for people. And he had it in our cupboard. I busted it out to, I think, saute some onions and some mushrooms in there. And the next morning, he approached me and he said, Will, I need to have a conversation with you. Don't use my egg pan. And I was like, okay. And at the time, I was like, okay, don't use your egg pan, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Well, now he owns like a good restaurant in Austin. Like, and I'm like, oh, he was onto something there. Like, maybe I need an egg pan. But now I have like a straight up, my egg pan is a piece of shit. Like, it just looks terrible. The eggs get caught in it. Like, it's just
Yeah,
embarrassing. It's time to make some upgrades.
You need an egg pan.
Yeah, I think I need to do some deep research. If any listeners out there have any suggestions, my ears are wide open. I am on the heels of our in and out list, Barrett, and now that I'm all in on Pinots, I'm going to make the official move, and I'm going to buy some either like Burgundy and Pinot glasses. I have learned are one and the same, or
Okay.
at least very similar, and it's kind of the squattier, more wide
Yep. Yep.
portion of the glass. And I think I'm finally going to purchase a set of 4, see how I like them, do it. Because it is the glasses that we're using are just tall or like not very good looking. And I want
Zalto?
something like this. I don't know if I'm going to get approval on the Zaltos. Is that per glass or is that for a set?
Oh, that's per glass, baby.
No, I don't think I'm going to get clearance on that.
Okay.
Unless it's a Christmas gift that I'm giving to somebody. That's actually just a Christmas gift for myself.
Well, I just, before you say that you can't get clearance, let me just,
Sell me.
Let me let you know that these are the best wine glasses that money can buy.
Okay.
Like if you want like to pull out wine glasses that are like show stopping and like sound like you know what you're talking about, it's Zalto.
When it comes to drinking a glass of wine at home, which I'm not opposed to doing, I haven't bought a bottle of wine in a minute. I probably need to do that this weekend. But when it comes to drinking it at home, I don't just want to have a glass of wine. Sorry. I don't just want to have a glass of wine. I would like to enjoy pouring that wine into a cool glass.
Yeah.
I want to look at that glass sitting on my coffee table. I'm watching a television show and be like, I can't wait to drink out of this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's like getting a new car. It's like you can't wait to go jump into it and drive it. But pouring a glass of wine at this point, I don't want to get drunk off of it. I just kind of want the ritual of enjoying a glass of wine while watching my favorite current television show.
Sure.
And I want that wine glass to be a Porsche.
These are a business expense for you.
It's
Will.
true. It's facts.
You know?
Actually,
You're like-
great call.
Like put some wine glasses up in your beautiful little man cave with your vinyl and
Yep.
your all that type of stuff, and get a few photos off. Boom, business expense.
I know. I need to really get. I need to get my Sunday Scaries idea off the ground so that I'm not just expensing things that I'm not using at all for business. This needs to. Randy, you need to hold me accountable.
Yes, but there are other options. But Zalto is that's your
Okay.
Psalm's favorite wine glass.
Okay. I might have to wait for the holidays. Maybe get a little Black Friday discount deal, but I'll put that on the short list.
Yeah.
Can we do something we haven't done in a while?
What's that?
I have an aesthetic to talk about.
Ooh, okay. All right.
It's not one that I like. Have you guys heard of the divorced mom aesthetic? Divorced mom core? It all stemmed from a TikTok that now has 12,000 comments and 2.2 million likes. Randy, is that worth celebrating if you're her?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How many likes did your sundress one do?
Likes?
Yeah.
It's up to
Because 2.2 million likes is crazy.
Yeah, that's good. I know it's above 10 million views. We're at 10 million views. How many likes? 792,000.
Okay, so she's absolutely mogging on you right now.
Yeah.
I like to just go on Google News and search like new aesthetic or like new whatever. And this was the only one that popped up from the last month of news that was worth talking about.
Man, are we done with aesthetics?
I think we're done with aesthetics. I think the one that was the most prevalent that I didn't think was even worth talking about was cowboy core. Every single article was that, from Teen Vogue to whatever.
Right.
It was just all cowboy, and the Beyonce stuff didn't help things when it came to the popularity of that.
No, but I'm telling you, like we've been talking Western for a year now.
Yeah,
like, Western Will debuted last fall.
It's true,
right?
It's true.
Like it's not going away. A bunch of the stuff, I mentioned those outfits that I posted for inspiration. A lot of Western stuff in there. I mentioned the cowboy boots. Never been hotter at football games. Like, yeah, it's not going away.
Well, this says at its core, divorced mom core is about. I would see if I was editing this column. There's no way I'm letting them start the sentence with at its core.
Yeah,
like I don't know if they were trying to do something, but I would have been like, no, we're switching that phrase.
Can't say core twice like that.
At its core, divorced mom core is about women surrounding themselves with home products that make them happy and comfortable. I will say, on the surface, that sounds great. This could be a pink front door an ex never agreed to, a floral bench picked up just for themselves, or a Bath and Body Works candle that turned their living room into a warm vanilla sugar oasis. Unfortunately, the TikTok doesn't do this any favors, because I wouldn't say that anything here is retail therapy coded. Not trying to be a slight, just being blunt here.
Sure.
They also dip into what divorced dadcore would be, and it's just really insulting. It's really insulting. It's like
a lot of good jokes to be made there, I feel like.
Yeah.
Divorced dadcore is like
There's multiple times where the picture trends of just like a camping chair and a TV and an empty like apartment said, this is all that men need to be happy. And it's like, that's true.
Yeah. The only reason that I'm actually like decorating the upstairs of our current house is because I want to use it on camera for Scary's purposes. But before, I literally had like a little coffee table that the TV was sitting on, and the TV was like way too big for it.
Wide,
and then I had a chair that I sat in that was just a folding chair, and I would play video games there. Like, it was depressing, and now it's comfortable and nice, but like I felt the need to do that. But I didn't need much more.
I get where this core is going, but what this also makes me think of honestly is just we're all on Instagram too much, and we all have this like image of like what we know houses can look like. Mm-hmm. Interiors wise, exteriors wise, it's all beautiful. It's all aesthetic. It's all been done by, expert interior designers or people with brilliant eyes or whatever. Divorced momcore is just giving me like what most people's regular houses look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think even when she was married, unless she was married to a real asshole, I don't think the guy's like, you cannot have that bench in here. Like, I don't think anyone operates like that.
I mean, maybe he didn't like. There
the
was
pink door. I would have
the
problems
pink
with.
door.
Pink door might be a little tougher to sell people on.
There's some the cake stand, the blue knobs. Like, I get what she's saying here. Like,
this is more grandma core.
She's now adding like her feminine, like like girly kind of like touches to the house that maybe her husband, didn't.
But part of this is also like the chuggy signs.
Yeah, I did. Yes, there's definitely some chugginess at play in this particular TikTok.
But in the article, they talk about like the signs and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, there's no, like, I don't care what you're going through in life. There's no excuse to have that. Just don't. Just don't. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that the divorced mom is finding her place in the world, and I'm glad that she's being able to decorate her house with stuff. But I will say that maybe it's the man in me that's married that I just don't want some of that stuff in the house. I'm proving her point.
I'm glad she's gone macro. She's
gone, me too.
She's gone viral.
I hope she got some DMs from some dudes that are cooler than her ex-husband.
Yeah, maybe she got some DMs from some places that want to send her some PR packages.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Here, maybe she could get a podcast on the Paul Network.
She could probably get a podcast. She could probably spin that into a podcast. Maybe one where she gets like the coolest guests on and has like real conversations with them.
And maybe get like sponsored by like Dr. Squatch or something like that.
Yeah, could be.
Dr. Squatch. I know we've been pretty much just doing articles of interest this entire time, but let's dive into some articles of interest. The first of which makes me very happy.
Yeah. So this is I slapped this one down in here, and I'm look. You have a copy of Intermezzo now. Sounds like you're enjoying the book.
I have 2 copies of Intermezzo now. I have one on my Kindle, and then I was like, you know what?
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna want the physical copy of this bad boy.
But so I don't want to rain on your parade or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that you got an advance manuscript copy of it like Sarah Jessica Parker did, who was reading it on the set of And Just Like That.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's also some alternative covers out there. Like there's a blue cover.
Right.
There's I have the normie stock general public release cover.
But this became like quite a status symbol to be seen with one of these advanced copies. There's a name for them that I'm forgetting right now. It's like called something special when you get this advanced copy. A galley release.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna start working that into when I see someone reading a book in public and be like, oh, is that from the galley release?
And they're like unbound, but they have like the real cover, and like there's this all gives when Miranda Priestley makes Anne Hathaway get her the Harry Potter advanced manuscript.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically what this is, but slightly more attainable.
Did you recently watch Devil Wears Prada?
No,
okay.
I'm just a stan. I'm just a stan.
You're spitting today.
Yeah, but it just made me think. But like we've been talking for many months now about how hot reading is, and like if you needed one more piece of evidence, just like toss on the pile. Like books are now status symbols. Like having this advanced copy of Intermezzo was huge for your personal brand. It said something about you. You love the Sad Girl Lit. You know, you're familiar with like the hottest and best young authors, and like, it was a massive flex to have this. And I even like, just beyond the galley release, even now, I feel like having the copy of Intermezzo is like, it's. You better have that if you're up to date on your modern literature.
Sally Rooney is a phenomenal writer. She is the only author currently going where I will immediately go get the book and read it just because I have enjoyed her other work so much. And I'm only through part 1 and a little bit of part 2 of Intermezzo right now, but it is right on par with everything else that I've ever read from her. She is like, I don't want to lay it on too thick regarding Sally Rooney, but I'm going to lay it on a little thick right now. She's changed her writing, and just her storytelling has changed the way that I've looked at relationships in life, whether they're romantic or not. She's changed the way that I look at how I treat people in life. She's changed the way that I look at just the things that people are going through under the surface. She has legitimately changed my thinking in life to the point where I will support her. And I think she's gotten a lot of, I think the cool factor of her was just amplified by the Normal People show being on Hulu, having 2 very it actors who made themselves it actors through their performances in that.
Yes.
And now she is just pretty much guaranteed to be the cool author of her generation for at least,
another decade,
however
2
long
decades.
it goes.
Yeah, totally.
This book is particularly interesting because I think it's the first time that she's written through the lens of men, like 2 men. Exclusively. It's about 2 brothers.
Yep.
The 2 brothers are going through a traumatic experience, and it's kind of how they separate and go about their lives and the things that happen to them after the traumatic experience. But for me, it's just been phenomenal. And I told you before we were recording today, I wish I had more time to read it at home with the kids, but it's just been difficult to dive in. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to bring this to a place and have it out in public and look like I'm just, hey, look at me, dude. I'm smart.
Now it's a hardcover, right?
I'm an ally supporting female authors.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a great guy.
It's hardback.
Yeah, hardcover. Yep.
Do you have a pair of cargo pants like big enough and like supportive enough to like fit it in the pocket?
No, maybe I can take my. I think I have a wax jacket that has like a back hunting pocket. So maybe I'll just dangle it out there.
That would be
I think that makes sense.
And then if you can find, I don't know, like I'm thinking like a corner table at Clark's.
Yeah.
With like a spritz, and then just have that book out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's what this book might. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but just I want to put this on everyone's radar so that I can go back and say, "Told you so." If it does happen, this book might make chess cool again. I don't think chess is not cool, but like their chess plays a part in this book. Yeah. And I could see people being like, reading this book and being like, ooh, I should buy a chessboard.
I think chess is bubbling.
Yeah. So I got
it's been popping up on my Explore feed every now and then.
I shouldn't talk about this, but I got an email recently from somebody who has a chess club that does little clubs in different cities. And they asked, I need to respond to the email because it's actually pretty cool. But like, it's very, like the photography of it, the vibes of it are very Scaries coded, very retail therapy coded. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of do want to do this. I'm not good at chess. I don't know how to do it.
Did you guys cover like LA Chess Club?
We did.
Yeah. I think that this book might be what puts chess into
over the top,
the cool guy category. I'm happy for Sally.
Rooney. Me too, and it's on my TBR. Well, do you know what that is?
Okay,
yeah,
to be read.
To be read.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you where's that list stored?
In my head.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know if that was like a
no. That's just like
thing.
A book talk thing. It's like that's everybody. It's a TBR. It's everybody's got their TBR. Like
I feel like a scumbag because like I want to read the physical copy of this book, but like I also want to have the synergy between my iPad and my phone. If I like have 10 minutes to kill and I can read part of a chapter, I want to be able to.
Are you reading on your iPhone?
I did on the plane.
Wow, that's bad boy behavior.
I did on the plane. I would prefer to read on the iPad.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting older and my eyes are not as great. But at home now, and especially now that I have no plans of not no plans. Shout out to the Detroit Tigers of leaving town. I might just start resuming from the book and just do that. It's on my bedside table for the vibe, though.
Yeah, that's a good vibe.
Yeah, got to.
I pulled this next article of interest from After School with the Casey Lewis newsletter. We don't have to spend much time on it. Teenagers are apparently stealing strangers' Nike zippers off their elite backpacks.
I was going to bring this up when you're talking about bag charms.
And like it does fold in nicely to that, Randy. Like it does not make sense, but neither did eating Tide Pods, I guess. But they're just now like collecting the zippers, and it's like they're like little badges of honor. They're like little trophies. So if you happen to have a Nike Elite backpack and you're a millennial, just be careful setting it down anywhere, honestly, because some 15-year-old is going to swipe all your little pull tabs off.
And they're
the
selling them too.
They're selling them on eBay. Like,
yeah.
I saw a screenshot. It might be from this column where like the pink ones were like double the price of the other ones, and it was like, oh, you can get these random colors for $20
for $20.
But if you want these pink ones, you're paying $60 for these.
Yeah.
Why are people stealing? Like,
what? Nobody knows. It doesn't make any sense. There's no explanation.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I can't fathom. I was going to say like, are these Nike backpacks so popular that like it's a thing? Because I've never even seen this backpack or taken note of this backpack.
No, like it started off of one TikTok where somebody like did a bit where they were stealing the tabs, and then it just like people started doing it and posting it as well, and like. It went by.
They might be a little, ahead of the game on this because I had my Gore-Tex Nike sneakers that I've since retired, but those came actually. Here you go, Barrett. When I got those in the mail, there was a carabiner attached to the laces, and I thought to myself, I could leave this on, but I don't really. Like, my son's just going to end up yanking it off.
I think you need to put your keys on it and attach it to your belt loops.
Ooh, that's kind of drippy.
Yeah.
Can I just do does it have to be a real key or can I do a fake key?
Charm those pants out, man.
Real key. Yeah, TikTok has a little bit too much power when it comes to teenage trends. I remember like a year ago, all the kids were comparing the licks they were getting from their schools, like the stuff they could steal from their school. They were like stealing security cameras and like anything that they could steal from, and they would like be like, got this insane lick. And then that's what it was.
Teenagers, you shouldn't we got to ban social media for like until you're 16 or something. It's too much.
Are parents sending their kids to school with an iPhone on them?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are the kids using the phone like during the day?
Yeah, they can use them like in class now.
That's
like,
insane.
It's a lot like more lax. It's ridiculous. We weren't even allowed to like have them out during passing periods. It was.
I hate to say this, but like I'm gonna definitely let my kids do whatever all the other kids are doing because I don't want them to be like singled out for not having a phone. Like I don't want my kid to like not be able to like get invited somewhere.
Yeah, okay. But here's the thing: I've talked to many friends with kids that also have kids around the ages of yours. Like we have to band together. We all have to band together and shut this shit down.
We do. Like
if we all agree that we're not giving our kids phones when they're 12 years old, we can curb this.
Yeah, and I don't want to. Like I absolutely don't want to give my kid a phone when he turns 12. But like that's a very normal age for kids to have phones these days.
Yes.
But I remember walking into class one day.
At the very least, like no social media. Like it's bad. Don't we get that by now?
I walked into a geography or like social studies class one day, and I saw my buddy sitting there on his phone with the phone underneath the desk texting somebody, and I looked at him and I was like, "Dude, what are you doing? You can't have that here." Like the way that everything's changed, I still figured that high schools and middle schools would like stop people from bringing their phones in.
Yeah.
My cousin was a middle school teacher, and she told me that the kids at her school are doing this while I was in middle school. She shouldn't have told me that they were taking their iPods and putting them through your sweatshirt sleeve and then just listening to music like inside your sleeve so you can tell the wire was in there. I'm like, you should have told me that. Now I'm definitely doing that in class all the time.
Oh yeah. That's a great idea.
It just looks like I'm resting my head.
Well, boiler room sets are in. Is the Umbro boiler room collab in? I freak with this.
I mean, You know,
It's kind of boring, but this seems like something I would wear.
like if you like boiler rooms and you're like a lad, like you probably have to have this.
I want to get one of these and just totally appropriate being a lad and just get some boiler room in my life. I need something Umbro in my life.
Are we going to a boiler room set in November? Did you DM me about a boiler room set that we can go to?
Did I? I might have.
Yeah.
I sent out a DM today about a jazz club.
No.
Not to you. Do you want to go to a jazz?
Sure.
Do you want to go to a jazz club?
Yeah.
It's not even a jazz club. It's just a jazz. It's a jazz takeover of Antone's
Yeah, okay.
for a couple days in November.
You sent me something. We'll have to.
I'm not going to wear this to that though.
We'll have to loop back on it. But
if I get any of this, I'm going to get the full sweatsuit and just know that I'm going to get some really aggressive like Oakley shades, and I want you to get a picture or a video of me at the boiler room set, just going like this.
But I think, don't we think that this is, you can't wear the boiler room collab to the boiler room, right?
That's true.
That's like wearing the band tee.
See, I'm Grateful Dead coded where everyone's wearing Dead stuff at the concerts.
Right.
I need to remember. Oh, you idiot! You can't do that at other shows.
Here's another collab that's
This one is getting a lot of praise.
Lad based.
It's getting a lot of praise. Arsenal and Aries. I guess Arsenal's never done a streetwear thing before. I don't know if I believe that.
Arsenal, come on.
I don't like the T-shirt, but I do like. I think a lot of these are really good looking.
Yeah, this is good.
I hate to say what I'm about to say because Arsenal isn't a rival of my my Manchester United boys. They got the aura right now. Unfortunately, they're stockpiling aura and taking it from other teams, and it's just devastating because I don't want it to be like that. But if you're an Arsenal fan, I just want to clap for you and just say like, enjoy it right now. The getting's good.
This is sick, man. I like this. Is so, like
they got Effie from Skins to do it. Like that is an aura move. Did you watch Skins? I need you in on Skins.
US based Skins. I watched MTV Skins.
Stop. The UK one was awesome.
Where was I supposed to watch that?
Netflix.
But we didn't have Netflix when we were 14.
No, but that didn't come out I was like 22 when that came when it came out. I feel like I'm confirming. Skins UK.
Well, when was Skins MTV?
After they've essentially followed the same script.
Okay,
they're a similar plot line. Okay, Skins came out. Oh, you're right, 2007. So I guess
we were in college. That was college.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I guess I probably dipped in season 3 and then started at season 1, but I think season 3 was like what got on my radar.
Okay.
But Effie, she's the one modeling here. I assume a lot of these people, I don't know who a lot of these people are. I assume they're more famous in British culture or they're part of either men's or women's squads.
I know that there are a lot more professional sports teams in the US that like people like care about, right? Like it's soccer in the UK. Like that's the team that you care about is your football club.
Yeah.
But I like this ties back to like every time that ALD does like Mets and Yankees stuff. I'm like, man, where is the dope Astros gear? Where is the dope like, like these teams need to take a page from the book of these football clubs and like start collabing with cool brands. So
but ALD fancies himself as being the world's borough. Like they want to get
cool shit from.
They want to be New York.
No, I know. I know. I'm not saying ALD needs to do it.
Oh, just other people.
I'm saying like
other teams.
Yes, because I'm always jealous of like this is sick, but I'm not an Arsenal supporter.
I do think it discounts the collab a little bit when it's like all encompassing and it's like, oh, get all 32 NBA teams. I'm like, no, I want it to be a tailored collection for one team.
Yes.
Like I want to know that you didn't just like say like, all right, we got the Houston Rockets one done. What are we going to do for the Utah Jazz? Who fucking cares? It's the Utah Jazz. Like, I don't want that.
I have a little anecdote about that that I meant to bring up a couple episodes ago about Japan. Even though we are almost historically the worst team in baseball, I will say the White Sox have one thing. Because I started noticing, I'm like, all right, I need to keep count. I saw probably like Japanese, European people, probably 40 I counted wearing Yankee stuff. Next closest, 20 people wearing White Sox. And then I didn't see like anything else from our stuff. So White Sox has the international appeal too.
Yeah.
It's pretty iconic.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
pretty
iconic
iconic.
branding. Yeah.
I have a sour taste in my mouth for the branding just because of y'all's World Series win. But like, I will respect. As a kid, I mean, just watching.
I had White Sox stuff as a kid.
They had White Sox branding in Field of Dreams, I believe.
Old schools. Yeah. White Sox.
And so I had some White Sox stuff growing up because of the field. My dad was a Field of Dreams stan.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how he would describe his
fan. You know what's crazy? y'all set the record for most losses ever, right?
It wasn't most loss ever. I know that it wasn't the worst record because it would have been adjusted. I think it was close.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just weird seeing a bunch of Japanese people wearing.
You
White
lost
Sox
over
stuff.
120 games, and you still won over 40 games. The baseball season is too long.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
The worst team won over 40 times.
It's too long.
That doesn't compute for me.
I don't know. I feel like you're projecting right now because your team just got bounced.
Yeah.
Okay, cocky Tigers guy now.
Tigers are hot. That's all it takes. You know what I am bitter about? I'm this new playoff format stinks.
Agree.
3 games is not enough. There shouldn't be 3-game series.
Agree.
If you want 6 teams in the playoffs, fine, but 5 games minimum.
I agree. It's brutal.
Well, I'm very bullish on this last article of interest here. I'm happy that this is back on, and what I'm talking about for those not paying attention, not watching, Tom Sachs and Nike have resumed their partnership.
They have.
And it's been announced that they are coming out with the Mars Yard 3.0 in Nike in 2025. Nike desperate. Nike is desperate.
I want to take this time on this podcast just to say, if you are the person who worked for Tom Sachs that reached out to me right before his cancellation that said you were going to send me a pair of general purpose sneakers, please reach back out. From my end, I'd like that offer to still be on the table. I know things got a little murky there for a little bit, but I would appreciate another pair. I'm actually wearing mine right now.
Well, I would like to say actually to that person, please, can we just get advanced pairs, friends and family, early seating on the Mars Yard 3.0s?
Yeah.
I think we've earned that, honestly.
I get more compliments specifically from dads or dudes who are dad age on the white that I'm wearing right now. Like, it's crazy the amount of compliments I get on them. Yeah. And it's not people complimenting them because they know it's a Tom Sachs product.
Right.
They're complimenting them like,
cool
those are really good
white
sneakers.
sneakers,
And then I'm like, and then they're like, where'd you get those? And I'm like, oh my God, okay. How am I going to tell this person that I grossly overpaid on StockX numerous times because I bought women's sizing not once but twice? Like, how am I gonna explain to them? I was in By George the other day, and I was talking to the sales associate, and he goes, "Oh, those are nice." He goes, "What are those?" And I was actually surprised he didn't know what they were just based on working at By George.
Converse or Lamar?
Lamar.
Okay.
And he looked them up on StockX, and he looked at me and goes, "Oh, those are expensive." And I was like, dude, don't do that to me right now. Like, I'm trying to forget that I spent that money on them.
Well, maybe they'll come back down now that maybe you can double up if they're going to resume production.
The brown pairs are borderline under retail.
Yeah.
The white pairs are still about, if you're a normal men's shoe size, they're still about what they were resale. Yeah. And then your pair is somewhere in the middle. Yeah. The kind of orange ones. And so that's kind of the current landscape of that.
I still want a white pair. I still want that pair.
I'll be honest, if I lost this white pair right now, I'd probably go back and buy another. I enjoy them a lot. I wear them all the time. My cost per wear on these is low as hell. I'm a happy person with these. I can't speak to the controversy that marred the Tom Sachs Nike relationship. And I hope that it didn't just go away because of time. I hope that it was something else. But yeah, I do love my sneakers.
Yeah.
Should we do some wish list items?
Sure.
I will start. I'm going with a pair of Birkenstocks that are a little out there. My sister recently purchased these, though. She lives in Montana, and I think these play very well in Montana. And she reached out to me and said, these have not only been great shoes for going out and doing things, but she said that they have completely rendered an issue with her foot away, and they are like now her go-to. She loves them. And now I'm like, you know what? When my yard is muddy in the middle of winter here and I'm outside playing fetch with my dog, this is what I want to strap up in. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to buy them. I might need to see them in person, but I might entertain a pair of these at some point.
Are you going Coke White on these?
No, can't do that. Those are, I mean, you can't have the rubber. White rubber, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, you're getting in the dirt.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to get the classics. Now, I probably won't end up getting these because I already have way too many pairs of Birkenstocks, and if I need to replace anything from Birkenstock, it's just my clogs.
The thing is, okay, but like we got this like Tough Mudder sole on here, but the uppers are still suede. Like I'm not totally understanding how aggressive you can get in these.
You can't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. No, my sister, when she texted me these, she hadn't bought them yet. She goes, She goes, "Am I insane for like enjoying these?"
They look tough on foot.
I know. And then she ended up following up with me, just being like, "Hey, so I have to tell you, these have been phenomenal shoes. I love these things."
Maybe they're doing like a waterproof suede here.
Hell, go up to that last photo right there. It doesn't totally look like
suede. Yeah, maybe it's not.
Let's Scotch guard these bees.
No, it's nubuck. It's nubuck leather. I don't know what we're doing here, but I do freak with it.
I might just like force her to give these to me for Christmas, so I don't buy them myself, and then I'll like pay her for half of them since we don't usually spend that much on each other for Christmas.
My wish list ad. This is kind of a plug, really for a shop that we don't talk about a lot. It's called Neighbor, and let me get my facts straight, because I think Neighbor might be it's a Canadian shop, but shipped to US. They got a bunch of awesome brands. And I was recently, I'm the bad boy tab boy. I've got a million tabs open at all times.
Bad boy tab boy.
And Neighbor is one that I like to keep open and look at their new arrivals. And so recently this Evan Kenouri jacket is caught my eye. It's the shape du jour. It's a blouson style, big pockets on the front, standard collar, zipped up. It's got your plaid which is famously on your in list for fall. Beautiful navy and gray, like just kind of like classic check. It's insanely expensive, and so I stand no chance of actually acquiring this jacket, but it is certainly a worthy add to my wish list.
I like the exterior pockets. They're voluminous. They are not. They're not a waste of an exterior pocket.
This is also the type of like.
And it's got the hand.
Oh, it's got both. It's got both,
yeah, baby. Yeah. No, you got to. We're getting you this. We're gonna crowdfund it.
This is the right now. I'm in very realistic headspace where I'm like, it's about to be the middle of October and we're at 90 plus every day.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you don't need this. But
should we just move to Canada, closer to this store?
But I do love it. Yeah, let's go to Vancouver. Let's live in Banff.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, being brushed cashmere on this probably raises the price just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit. Yeah, and it's not one of them. It's not one of those cashmere wool blends. It's 5% cashmere. I'm pretty sure it's 80% cashmere. So it's mostly cashmere.
It looks, knowing that it's cashmere changes the dynamic of this jacket a lot. If this was like a rough wool, it wouldn't, like, imagining this sitting on your body when it's this cashmere.
Yeah, cocooning you in softness.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Delightful. I think that's all she wrote. This was all over the place, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week.
Good grab bag.
Yep. Talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.